Hi class. So I wanted to make a short video here just going over the week 2 Canvas discussions solutions, so that way you can check your work and see where you may have had some misconceptions. So on number 1, it's just asking you, we're letting x be the first of 3 consecutive odd integers, and you're asked to express the sum of the first and the third consecutive odd integers in terms of x, and then we're asked to simplify. So here, it's real important to understand what these three terms represent. So consecutive, means in order. We're not skipping any numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are all consecutive. Odd numbers are numbers that are not divisible by 2. So like 1, 3, 5, 7, and so forth. And then we're also looking at integers, right? Which you should know at this point. We looked at the set of integers. So the set of integers fits this pattern. So we have the numbers, we could do -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth, right? So this is the set of integers. Right, so you can start at 0 and we're able to add or subtract 1 each time, right, to come up with this set of integers. So we have the set of whole numbers plus their opposites, right? All right, so one thing that I think is helpful here, let me make some more room for number 1 here. We don't need any of this. All right, so one thing that can be helpful to understand this problem is if we draw a number line and kind of see a pattern of what's going on. So let's give ourselves a simple example. So let's say I want to start at the, I don't know, number 5, right? Number 5 is an odd integer, right? So the question is, well, what would be the next odd integer, right? So the next odd integer would be 7. And then the next odd integer after 7 would be 9. Then we'd have 11, 13, right? And so forth. So 15, 17. So then you want to kind of see a pattern what's going on. So each time we're adding 2 to it, right? To get to the next odd integer. So this is just a phenomena, a pattern that happens. So if I give you any odd integer, let's say 101, and you're asked to find, well, what's the next odd integer, you can simply just add 2 to it to get the next one, right? So this will hold true no matter which odd integer that I start with. So in our scenario, we're starting with we're saying let's say our number is x. Then what would be the next odd integer, right? So to go from here to here, I need to add 2, so we would have x plus 2, right? So this would be my first odd integer, so then my second would be x plus 2. So then to find my third, I would need to add 2 to the previous one, right? So I need to take x plus 2 plus 2, right? Which would be x plus 4. So here I would have x plus 4 for my third consecutive odd integer, right? So we're kind of seeing a pattern. We're establishing how we could calculate the first, second, and third odd integers given an x. So then the question here is express the sum of the first and the third, right? So you want to pay attention. We're only adding the first and third consecutive integers together, but we needed to find the second in order to find the third. Right. So then to find the sum, right, we would take the first consecutive integer x, so this guy, plus the third, which is we found to be x plus 4. So we would get 2x plus 4, right, when we simplify this. So this would be the solution for number 1, right? That's the simplified sum of the third and the first consecutive odd integers, right? So then number 2, it's asking us, what would change if we change the word odd to even in number 1, right? So in other words, if we're considering, if we're letting x be the first of 3 consecutive even integers, express the sum of the first and third consecutive even integer in terms of x, right? And what you'll find is that, nothing changes, right? Because if I look at, a set of consecutive even integers, so like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, right, and so forth, you'll notice this pattern continues, right, where I'm adding 2 each time. Right. So if I'm starting with x, then the next one would be x plus 2, and then x plus 4 still, right, where we're adding 2 each time in between to get to the next consecutive even integer, right? So it holds true for odd or even in this case, right? It doesn't make a difference. So then number 3, you're just giving me an explanation for why number 2, why this happens, right? And essentially, what you're doing is you're trying to skip over the one that, so if you're looking at odd numbers, you're trying to skip over the next number, which would be even each time, right? So like if we were looking at odd integers, on a number line we would have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and so forth, right? So in our number line of integers, we have this pattern where we have even odd, even odd, even odd, and so forth. So if I want to skip over to 11, right, I need to skip over the even integer here, right? So that's probably the easiest explanation. Or you could have also described about just the pattern that we noticed above, how every time we're listing out consecutive odd integers, we're adding 2 each time, and this also holds true for even numbers, and so it doesn't make a difference, right? So don't let the x and x plus 2 and x plus 4, don't let that think that the amount we're adding has to be even or odd. I have some students that trip them up with that. All right, so this wasn't meant to be a long video, just to go over the solution. I hope everything's going well in the class. Feel free to email me with questions, and don't forget there's the appropriate place in the Canvas discussion to post questions as well for the questions about anything. I'll be uploading the coming modules, and then also giving you some more information about midterm 1 that's coming up. So midterm 1 will cover chapters 1 through 3, and like I said, I'll give you some more guidance and some tips on studying for that.